If you feel like the world is becoming harder to trust, you're not imagining it. Toxic people aren't just appearing, they're being manufactured by the way modern society rewires our minds. You felt it. Conversations that turn defensive instantly. People who drain you before you even finish a sentence. A society where empathy feels rare and emotional chaos feels normal. This isn't random. Modern life is quietly engineering more toxic personalities than any generation before us. And it starts with an invisible crisis: emotional overload. People today are hyperstimulated but emotionally underdeveloped. They scroll to escape, argue to feel alive, and numb themselves to avoid discomfort. And when you avoid your emotions long enough, you lose the ability to process them. What replaces that loss? Deflection, denial, blame, and eventually toxic survival habits. Next is the epidemic of instant gratification. We built a culture where patience is weakness, effort is optional, and entitlement feels normal. When people believe they deserve everything quickly, manipulation becomes a shortcut. Why grow when you can pressure, guilt, or deceive? Why take responsibility when avoiding it feels easier? But the most dangerous shift is the rise of emotional illiteracy. People know how to speak, but not how to understand themselves. They can argue, but not reflect. They can perform confidence, but not build it. Without emotional vocabulary, every disagreement feels like an attack, every boundary feels like betrayal, and every criticism feels like humiliation. That's why people are more reactive, not because they're stronger, but because they're fragile. Then social media amplifies everything. Algorithms reward rage. Outrage becomes currency. Drama becomes entertainment. The loudest, least self-aware people get the most attention, teaching millions that toxic behavior equals influence. And with no real consequences, the behavior spreads. But beneath all this noise is a deeper truth. Modern society disconnects people from themselves. When you don't know who you are, identity becomes a performance. When you feel empty inside, power becomes a drug. When you fear vulnerability, control feels like safety. That's why toxic people attack. They're protecting the fragile version of themselves they hope no one sees. Their aggression is camouflage. Their manipulation is insecurity wearing armor. And here's the part most people miss. Toxic behavior is rising because emotional resilience is falling. People break faster, recover slower, blame quicker, and instead of growing, they defend the very patterns that hurt them. This turns everyday life into an emotional minefield. You never know if honesty will be appreciated or weaponized. You never know if someone will hear your words or twist them. Thin skin combined with inflated ego? That's the perfect storm for toxic reactions. But here's the powerful truth. You are not helpless in this environment. In a world full of emotional instability, your self-awareness becomes your shield. Your clarity becomes your advantage. Your calm becomes your strength. Toxic people lose power when you stop absorbing their chaos. They crumble when you stop responding to their bait. They disappear when you stop confusing their insecurity with your responsibility. Understand the pattern, and you break its influence. And if you want to stay grounded, aware, and emotionally untouchable in a society that's losing its depth, make sure you don't miss what's coming next. If you want deeper psychology insights like this, follow and stay for the next video. Your clarity matters now more than ever.